My dad don't play. So you could just imagine his reaction to somebody taking his only son's food, and his son is hungry, and he works 2 jobs to make sure this money can be allocated to his kids to at least have food, shelter, and the necessities. So I know he was even more than livid. He's a very, very scary man when he feels like his kids are getting the underhand or the short end of the stick. I'ma reach the top if it kills. Bitch can't do it like me. Bitch can't do it like me. Laid back. I'ma reach the top if it kills. What's up and what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Laidback since '96, and I'm back at it with another sideline story. Now, this sideline story is talking about a little mishap at A.G. Gaston. Now, A.G. Gaston, I believe I think it's a school. I'm not sure. I know it's a building that houses kids, kind of the same thing like the Boys and Girls Club in the neighborhood. That's the thing that that's all the information I really know about them relatively, because other than this situation, I really ain't been too involved with A.G. Gaston before or after this sideline story. Now, this sideline story was around the time I was that summer in between kindergarten and first grade.
Are you like a munchkin?
I believe. So I would go here every day, I'm pretty sure Monday through Friday, and when I'm there, I learn some schoolwork stuff. I get to play recess with the other kids, whether that's like play video games or play basketball or play football, play t-ball, whatever the instructor of the place wanted us to do. That's what we usually did for the recess time or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's how that went. And yeah. My parents, they loved me, they cared about me. So, hey, they got me a lunch.
Oh, really?
They gave me a lunch every day. You feel me? They gave me a lunch every day. And sometimes, they were such good parents that they overgave me food. They gave me food that I don't eat all the food. So every day, most of the days, I wouldn't eat all my food. And, you know how kids are. Kids see you got food you ain't eating and they hungry. They gonna ask. So,
hey, you gonna eat that?
That's just what ended up happening. There was this one kid in particular that would ask me for my food, and I'd be like, okay, sure. But then when it got to a point where food that I wanted to eat, he'd ask for it, and I at the time didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to say no. So I would tell him yeah, even though I wanted my food, but I just didn't know how to tell him no. No, I want my food. Like if he asked, I gave it to him just because I didn't know how to say no at the time. So that ends up being a problem because, I would come home sometimes and be like hungry. And I guess I told my parents or I'd eat the food. Somehow my parents picked up on it. And they're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's the problem? And I'm sitting here like, well, I'm hungry. And they're like, well, why are you hungry? And, oh, this is where it got crazy. Because I'm like, in my mind, and I remember me as a kid, I'm just sitting there like, if I tell these people, I'm just like, if I tell these people that I've been giving away my food, they're going to beat me. I'm like, they're gonna whip me. It wasn't that they're gonna beat me. It was just like, I know they're gonna be mad. So I'm like, what's the best next thing to the truth, to where it's kind of how it's going. But I don't get the blame or the trouble for it. Somebody else does. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna tell them they've been taking my food. I'm like, they're taking my food. They're taking my food.
And there you go.
Mom, I'm hungry because I'm not eating my food because it's this kid that keeps taking my food. And of course, her being a black mom and one of the stronger black moms of the of the brigade, she wasn't having that. I'm pretty sure she was livid, but I don't remember her reaction. I just remember being like worried to tell him the truth and told him that story. And which is not too far off the truth. He was taking my food, but it's not like he was taking without asking. I just wouldn't say no. But yeah. So she tells my dad, and guys, if you know anything about my dad, to this day, he does not play about any one of his kids. And it's actually stories that are not my stories, that of where he's come up to places like schools and summer camps and ready to flip out. You know what I mean? But those aren't my sideline stories to tell. Those are my sisters. But point being, my dad don't play.
Of course.
So you could just imagine his reaction to somebody taking his only son's food. And his son is hungry and he works 2 jobs to make sure this money can be allocated to his kids to at least have food, shelter, and the necessities. So I know he was even more than livid. He's a very, very scary man when he feels like his kids are getting the underhand or the short end of the stick. And next thing I remember, we're at this A.G. Gaston place, talking to the head dean of the place, or the supper camp or whatever. And I remember we had this big, long wooden table, and the dude, the president, I would imagine him now. He's the principal of the whole operation or whatever. He's at the other end of the table, and then on the left is the kid that keeps asking me for fucking food. You know what I mean? And and his parents, and me and my parents, and I can't, it's real crazy. The story would be better if I could tell you. I remember this is a summer between kindergarten and first grade, I believe. And I cannot remember how the conversation was going. All I can remember is them keeping asking me, and you sure he took your food? You sure he took your food? And I'm like, yeah, he took my food. He took my food. Yeah. They kept asking, and the pressure. I just remember like everything like shut down. Like everything was quiet. And I'm just like, okay, so like the guilt. This is how I knew I wasn't a piece of crap kid, guys. The guilt got to me. I had it. Like, like this kid's gonna easily get in trouble, get whooped by his parents, and my parents would have let the thing go. But the guilt. I had a conscience, guys. I had a conscience and a moral compass. And Jesus hit me, and I was just sitting there like, I did it. He didn't really take my food. He really didn't take my food. I gave him my food. He would ask, I would give him my food. I didn't want to give him my food, but I gave him my food. And I remember I was like crying when I was doing this, John, bro. Like, the guilt was eating at me, man. I was like, I really can't. Oh. And I don't remember what the kids' parents said. I don't even know if they talked. They would have all right to call me all kinds of, this is like just not worthless, but just a lying ass kid. But I don't think they even did all that. You know what I mean? They did. I don't remember nothing after that other than, being free, weight lifted. Like I just remember it's off. Like the guilt got off me. You know what I mean? And yeah, guys, that is the mishap at A.G. Gaston. Moral of the story: if you're gonna cook up a lie, be ready to go down with the lie. Oh no, but that's the moral of the story for the real ones. Now, let me just give you the Disney moral of the story. Moral of the story: don't tell a story. You know what I mean? Don't lie. It's not good. Nothing good can come of it. But and honestly, don't lie, because eventually the guilt will get you, or whatever your karma is. My karma at the time was my guilt eating me like a parasite. But yeah. Don't lie, guys, unless you're willing to take it all the way. But I hope you enjoyed that one. I just enjoyed telling you, you know what I mean? Hey, I need y'all to comment. Because like the last couple of videos, y'all ain't been commenting. You know what I mean? I need y'all to comment me a time where you got caught. Like, remember your first time you got caught lying to your parents. Like tell me that. Like, comment a little piece of that story in the comments. You know what I mean? Let me know. I don't want this burden by myself. I want to share it. I want to share the embarrassment and the guilt of like, oh man, I'm lying. Like, I want y'all to help me be in that. You know what I mean? And if you like the video, like the video. And don't forget to subscribe. Man, we just hit that 50, baby. Man, last video we hit that 50. And y'all did y'all. And I appreciate that. I honestly should do something for that. But I'm not making money off this right now. So am I able to really do something? Only time will tell. Maybe more subscribers will give me a chance to do something more for you guys. I don't know, but let's find out. You know, so don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, it's your boy Laidback since '96, and I need you to keep it easy.
My plate. Young nigga driving a foreign, don't know what to do in a rape. Keep two in the safe, it look like I'm choking my paddock, cause that bitch is blue in the face. No view in the wake, niggas will shoot at your face and jump in the coupe and just race. I've been locked in the booth for a day. You asked to get out, niggas moving like train.